land on which to build our family home, and happened to find a beautiful spot that had been part of the Kerrigan estate and belonged to Joan Guy. We of course met Joan while negotiating the sale of the land, and a warm and lasting friendship began. Jean and I were fortunate to spend many delightful evenings in Joan's various homes. We were always amazed at how she could move into a new house and within a few days make it uniquely hers. She was a wonderful hostess. We met many interesting people, and even more importantly, had many, many laughs together. She also introduced me to a guy named Tom Davis, and we've been hanging around together ever since. As you all know, Joan was an elegant lady with great poise when she wanted it. She also had a bit of a wild side to her that made her both interesting and unpredictable. I believe that some of those trips that she took abroad with family and friends were quite memorable, to say the least. Maybe the quality that we admired most, though, was her compassion for others. She always was involved in helping someone who needed it, whether it was providing accommodation, emotional, or I suspect monetary support. She had the courage of a lion and fought her illnesses with all her being. I remember speaking with her physicians when she was first found to have cancer in her bowel. The tumor was removed but was advanced, and we suspected that her time was near. However, Joan fought back and underwent every possible treatment, no matter how uncomfortable. As a result, she was still here for another approximately 20 years. Finally, all the illnesses overtook her. She showed the same courage and tenacity right to the end. We will miss her and send her love and condolences to all who loved her as much as we did. Dr. John and Jean Penn. And he was number one. I've got just three humorous things I'd like to say about Joan when I think about her. One is, and Robin and Patty can sort of confirm this. I don't know how many of you ever met Greg. Raise your hand if you did.
I dated him. You have to hear the rest of it,
The only date that Robin could get.
I thought they were going to get married.
That's right. Greg was a full-size dummy with a mustache and a vest and a jacket, right?
Dummy.
Adoption papers.
And they would take Greg to favorite spot was Le Cordon Bleu.
The Cordon
Take him to the restaurant and say dinner for three, and they just look at us. And we sit him down, we talk to him, put a cigarette in his hand, and order a drink for him.
Can you imagine that in the old Le Cordon Bleu? That's one of my funny stories about her.
You know what happened to Greg?
Yes, that's the second funny story.
Interesting.
Robin and a few other friends went on a barge trip in France with Joan. They rented two barges. They had a smoking barge and a non-smoking barge.
And it turned out one was drinking, one was non-drinking. Jones didn't let us have any alcohol because we had too much responsibility.
And there was one man on the trip. I was supposed to go and I backed out, dumb me. But I won't tell the story about Ned. Anyhow, she bought so many things that she didn't have room in her luggage to put Greg back in. So when they got to train station,
We got to the train station, we just had too much stuff, so we put him on the park train
In Paris.
And as the train pulled out, there was Greg and people standing around going. So I don't know where he is.
I keep thinking about that. I worry about Greg a lot. What do you do if it rained? If it snowed? But wasn't that so typical of her? And then one further story, she had some friends that would bring some black Iranian caviar periodically when they would come and visit. And Joan had a big party one night. We had a champagne tasting, right, Mr. Sutty? And we had the black caviar, and we had a little contest, which I won't say who won. And then there was some left over. So the next night she had rented one of her homes to Chris Carradine, one of John Carradine's sons. He was an architect who worked for Disney. And he and his wife and Joan and I were having dinner. And out come the baked potatoes. And we stuffed our baked potatoes with black Iranian caviar. It was a many, many fine memories.